don't want a poor wife raised by a single mother. Call off the wedding. Please stop making baseless accusations. My mother-in-law, Risa, ignores my pleas and spreads rumors among the guests that I'm a poor wife. My once-in-a-lifetime moment is ruined because of Risa. I'll never forgive her. I'll make her regret ruining my wedding for the rest of her life. My name is Rafi. I'm a 29-year-old office worker. Busy with work every day, I'm known as a workaholic, and I have a fiance. Chester, can you handle this luggage? Sure, just give me a minute. Chester, whom I got engaged to after an office romance, is a cheerful guy admired by everyone, especially the women in our department. Our romance started during a particular project. It was my first time leading a team, and Chester was there to guide me with kindness. Rafi, you're incredibly diligent. I admire that. Every time Chester praised me, I found myself more attracted to him. It turned out Chester had special feelings for me too, and we started dating. As we dated, I grew to want to be someone who could support Chester forever. Then, he proposed to me. I vividly remember joyfully accepting the ring. Since then, we've been preparing for our wedding. During a family meeting, I was warmly welcomed. Take good care of Chester. I'm glad you're marrying such a wonderful person. It seemed my in-laws were supportive, which relieved me. We planned to meet up with both families, adjusting to my busy mother Tiana's schedule, and gathered at a restaurant. So, about Rafi's dad. Oh, we're a single mother family. My dad passed away when I was young. Single mother? I sensed Risa's discomfort hearing that. Is there a problem? Confused, I tilted my head, but Risa just smiled. It's fine. Single parenthood often comes with negative connotations. My mom is kind and raised me alone. Despite the difficulties without a dad, I never felt a lack of love. She's someone I deeply respect. I passionately spoke about how wonderful Tiana is. Regaining my composure, I look around to see Tiana smiling kindly at me, patting my head and saying, Thank you, Rafi. Her smile always reassures me. After all, Tiana has always been my sunshine. However, the atmosphere didn't feel right. I worried whether our wedding plans would go smoothly, but fortunately, the preparations for the ceremony were completed successfully. In a grand hall with a beautiful dress, I wait for the ceremony to begin, staring at the dress I'm about to wear. Then, I notice a commotion in the hallway. Rushing out to see what's happening, I find Risa causing a scene, yelling loudly. That wife is just after the money. She and her family are so greedy it's despicable. Give Chester back to us. Come out here and let me slap that face. The guests are taken aback by her desperate look and keep their distance from Risa. The staff, seeing me, wait for instructions on what to do. I gesture for them to stay back and approach Risa. Risa, what's wrong? Apparently drunk, Risa stares at me with unfocused eyes. Are you drunk? If you're feeling sick, you should rest. As I reach out to help her, she throws the contents of her glass at me. I don't want a poor wife raised by a single mother. Poor Chester, call off the wedding. Her words are cruel, insulting single mothers and calling me a poor wife. And we were just about to start the ceremony after completing all the preparations. Excuse me? But my mom is from a wealthy family. Angered by the insult to Tiana, I start to reveal what I had been hiding. Then a sharp pain hits my cheek. Don't lie! Risa had slapped me. Overwhelmed by the pain, I crouch down and Risa looks down at me, hurling more insults. I had thought she was kind and gentle during our family meeting. I had hoped she would accept me despite being from a single mother family. I even thought she could be like a second mom to me. But the most important person to me is Tiana, who gave birth to and raised me. Raised by a single mother, she brought me up all by herself. I cannot tolerate anyone insulting Tiana. I had prepared so much for this special day, arranging the venue, choosing the dress, ordering the food. Even the alcohol she threw on me was quite expensive. Unforgivable. She ruined my once-in-a-lifetime moment and insulted my most precious person. I will never forgive her. I'll get my revenge. Rafi, what's going on? What's all this noise? As I tremble with anger at Risa, a familiar voice speaks to me. Looking up, I see an elderly man. He's the president of a famous restaurant chain. I heard his restaurants became famous overnight, and now he appears on TV more than he works. Then a young man appears behind him. Your cheek is swollen. We need to ice it right away. He's a young but renowned doctor, recently known for developing a new treatment for a rare disease. Seeing my red, swollen cheek, he immediately gets ice from the staff and applies it. Seeing these two prominent figures, everyone realizes the truth about Tiana being wealthy. Rafi, are you okay? Can you stand? As if nothing had happened, Risa offers her hand. I forcefully shake it off. I thought I was just a poor person raised by a single mother. Wouldn't touching me dirty your hands, Risa? My cold response makes Risa look regretful. She tries to pretend nothing happened, but it's too late. Risa, I'm sorry, but could you please leave for today? What are you saying? It's my dear son's wedding. I can't just not attend. But I don't think you can keep a level head watching a wedding with a poor wife raised by a single mother. As I raise my voice to make sure everyone in the hall hears, someone starts to chuckle. Soon, laughter at Risa spreads through the room. Risa, her face turning red from embarrassment and being laughed at by many, pleads. I'm sorry. I didn't really think that. Please forgive me. In her beautiful dress, she kneels and clings to me. It was almost comical, and I had to suppress a laugh, but Risa still had to learn her lesson. Then another voice came from behind. What a terrible commotion. What's happening? Mom. Tiana had appeared behind me without my noticing. She smiled as she turned to me and said, Well done. Then Tiana stepped forward. Why do you think single mothers are poor? Tiana asked Risa with a smile. But it was a smile that seemed to bear a weight of authority. If I were in Risa's place, I would have been breathless with fear. I didn't mean... But you were shouting earlier that we are poor because we're a single mother family. That was just the alcohol talking. Oh, so that was your true feeling then. Tiana's sharp words. They seemed too much for someone like Risa, who appeared to be shaking and on the verge of collapsing. Disdainfully looking down upon the now speechless Risa, Tiana declared firmly, Everyone is entitled to their opinions about single mothers, but that doesn't give you the right to hurt people. You have no right to throw alcohol at and hit my daughter. Please leave. I was the one who instructed my daughter to have such a lavish ceremony, but this place is not suitable for you. People who can't empathize with others don't belong here. After saying her piece, Tiana exhaled a sigh of relief. That feels better. Everyone in the room, agreeing with Tiana, erupted into applause. Remarkable! Wealthy people indeed speak differently. I'm glad to follow her. Let's have her give a lecture at our company. We need someone like her to toughen up the young ones. Voices echoed throughout the hall. Tiana was about to get busy again. I asked the hotel staff to escort Risa out. Standing next to Tiana, who had just finished her part, I said, Mom, you're always so cool. The best mom in the world to me. Even though I was raised by a single mother, without a dad, I felt like the luckiest person in the world to have been born to someone as wonderful as Tiana. Because of the commotion, the wedding was ultimately called off. Chester apologized profusely, but honestly, becoming family with Risa was impossible. After a heartfelt apology, I called off the engagement with Chester. Chester, knowing what Risa did, couldn't object much and apologized deeply before we parted ways. But Risa wouldn't let go. Rafi, I'm sorry about that day. Please, marry Chester. She visited repeatedly, and when I moved, she somehow got my mobile number. Risa's desperate pleas like, I'm sorry about that day, and I've realized your charm, sounded blatantly fake, almost laughable. I promptly blocked her number. Even though the ceremony was canceled, the expenses weren't just going to disappear. But obviously it was their fault it got canceled, so they would bear the costs. Originally, the plan was to have Tiana help with the expenses, so the wedding was supposed to be quite lavish. Of course, that meant the cost skyrocketed. It was an amount not easily afforded by an average family, but it couldn't be helped. They were the ones who ruined the ceremony. On top of that, I also demanded compensation. After all, I was insulted, had alcohol thrown on me, and was slapped. I didn't have a voice recorder, but everyone present was a witness. There was no way they could escape responsibility. The compensation added to the wedding costs was significant. I did feel a bit sorry seeing the amount, but it was justified given the insult to Tiana. The payment would be tough, but they would have to manage with their audacity. Rumors say that Risa was told to divorce. The way she treated me, Chester's fiance, ruining a high-cost wedding, and above all, the unbelievable amount of expenses and compensation they were billed for. Initially, Risa's father-in-law tried to help, but he gave up when realizing the burden was too great to bear. Chester also disowned Risa over the broken engagement. Risa likely won't be able to return to her in-laws' house ever again. I heard she quickly fell on hard times, having never worked much before. Now she's employed at a factory with live-in accommodations, working there during the day and at construction sites at night. It's tough for someone her age. If Risa is to repay the debt alone, she won't be leaving any inheritance but working for a lifetime. Meanwhile, after the incident, Tiana organized a party for me. She seemed to feel guilty for playing a part in ruining the ceremony. Mom, you did nothing wrong, and you shouldn't worry about it. I reassured her time and again, but I won't feel better otherwise. And so, we decided to have a party with Tiana's acquaintances. Honestly, I couldn't care less about romance at that point. Having Tiana was enough for me. But at the party Tiana arranged, Sean, the man who had provided ice for my swollen cheek that day, was there. I was really surprised at the time, he said, sipping his coffee slowly. I knew Tiana was a formidable woman, but I never knew Rafi had such strength. It made me think I should learn from you. I felt a bit embarrassed by Sean's straightforward words. Do I really resemble my mom that much? Tiana has always been my sunshine. Her protective embrace was stronger than any armor. It was the first time someone said I resembled Tiana. Looking up, Sean smiled gently. Yes, you're very much alike. Seeing you, I feel reassured. It's okay to let go and be protected. At least that's how I felt that day. Just like Tiana. The idea that I could reassure people like Tiana did for me. That I could be someone's armor, like Tiana. I want to be someone who can protect the important people in my life. That includes Tiana and the man in front of me, Sean. I'll work hard to become a reassuring presence, a sunshine for those dear to me.